You don't need any of that. Everything you have is within you. And all you have to do is choose to act on it. You have everything you need to go wherever you want, do whatever you want, become whoever you want to be. You just have to act on it. And it isn't the flip of a switch. So for those of you who said, well, I tried that. Edison tried to create a light bulb like 1,000 times.
Right,
If
right.
he gave up, can you imagine? We'd be all sitting in the dark.
Welcome to Food Slaying. My name is Michelle, and I am your host. And today we're talking about neurolinguistic programming, specifically neurolinguistic programming as it pertains to our marketing of food. We're also going to talk about how we talk ourselves into eating the foods that we eat. Now, there's no longer any doubt that we're influenced by marketing in almost every industry that we engage in. But we all, and especially our children, are influenced and impacted by each other and by the marketing that we consume each day. The Forbes Agency Council reported that in 2019, we were exposed to somewhere between 4,000 and 10,000 advertisements every single day, thanks to the massive growth in digital marketing. Google alone generated more than $130 billion in ad revenue in 2019. But before we get into today's topic and the guests that I've invited onto the podcast today, I want to share some interesting information that I found on the Yukon Rudd Center for Food Policy and Obesity website. And I quote, "Food, beverage, and restaurant companies spend almost $14 billion per year on advertising in the United States." And that comes from the Rudd Center 2017 analysis of Nielsen data. More than 80% of this advertising promotes fast food, sugary drinks, candy, and unhealthy snacks. Food advertising spending dwarfs the entire $1 billion budget for all chronic disease prevention and health promotion in the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Furthermore, food companies target children, teens, and communities of color with marketing for their least healthy products. End quote. Now, I don't know if that's news to anybody, but the nugget there is that we spend 14 times more on advertising, like food that is ultimately killing us, right, than we do on prevention and keeping ourselves healthy. And that speaks volumes, especially when healthcare costs are coming out of our pockets. They're coming out of the consumer's pockets, right? Which is problematic in and of itself, but I digress. Needless to say, messages are getting into our eyes, our brains, and even our noses by the thousands each day. And major companies are paying to learn and implement neuromarketing tactics that includes dispersing all kinds of messaging and images and even smells based on research data and biometrics, all in an effort to get us triggered, for lack of a better word, both mentally and emotionally, to get us to purchase their products. And it's all done without you really even knowing it, right? It's done without even knowing that we're being silently assaulted by influence. There's no mystery anymore about how much we talk about food online, because we do. Social media has made it possible for us to share our food choices all day long. We talk about what we eat, why we eat it, when we eat it, who we're with when we eat it, and we even talk about what we don't like to eat. And of course, some of us, like me, talk about the unsavory reality regarding what's in and on our food. But with all of this chatter going into our heads, we're inevitably influenced in one way or another. So it begs the question that is the topic of this week's episode. Are we really the ones making the decisions when it comes to what we choose to put on our plates? Do we really have choice, or is it just the illusion of choice? And are we really in control of our minds? Well, luckily, today we're talking with the host of Oh My Health There's Hope podcast, Jana Short. She began her career as an interior designer and then switched gears after overcoming some of her own health challenges and became the host and founder of Best Holistic Life. She's a mindset and life coach also. Now, all of that is really great because she's a super dynamic and fun to talk to person, but she's also spent many years as an NLP practitioner. An NLP, for those of you who don't know what that is, that's neuro linguistic programming. And that's really what was driving the content of today's podcast. Now, in this podcast, you're not going to hear so much about what NLP is. What you're going to hear about is how you can use your own mind and take control of your own mind to make food choices, better choices for yourself. If you want to learn more about neuromarketing, which is what the kids are calling it these days, right? It used to be NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, but nobody likes the word programming, right? That's just a negative word. So they call it neuromarketing, where they, you know, get feedback from consumers. They look at how your brain waves work. They try to tell you messages that they think resonate with you. They'll even use scents in the stores and with other products to make you, find something favorable about the product. So there's all this kind of manipulation that's happening in your brain before you ever even reach for your wallet, right? Before you ever even make the decision to buy something, there's all this stuff happening. So I invited Jana to the show today to talk about the impact of neurolinguistic programming or neuromarketing on our food choices, because we know that it exists in our marketing. We know that it influences our decisions when it comes to what foods we want to purchase for ourselves, for our children, and for our families. So please welcome Jana Short.
Wow, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here because I think this is an incredible topic that people need more education on.
Me too. And I'm so glad that you're making time to be here. Just introduce yourself a little bit and then we'll jump right in.
So I'm Jana Short, and I found myself in this career completely by accident. Like you said, I was an interior designer, but after getting sick and having to have my stomach completely removed, I had to have a different relationship with food. And I went online and started looking up holistic options and holistic health choices. And all of a sudden, the world opened up to me. And I am a pretty well educated woman. I'm not only well educated, I'm married to a doctor. And my ex husband, my ex is a doctor, an internist. And yet I knew nothing about holistic medicine at all. It was like it was all brand new. And where else in the world can you literally be laying on a deathbed and type in those words, desperate for health answers or looking for options, and extend your reach globally around the world, which is what I was able to do. And the scary part of that is you don't always get the best information, right? And the words matter. And people know how to twist those words to make healthy look healthy, but not really be healthy, or safe for you, not necessarily safe for you. And so it opened me up to wanting to learn more. And getting into NLP was really about me. As I started taking on clients and working with people, I wanted to really hear what they were saying. And NLP really helped me understand the words coming at me and give me a better way of responding to them when they did come at me. So a lot of times you will see someone maybe attack you on social media and you take it as attack, but what it really is frustration and hurt and confusion. They're coming from a different place. And when you really hear those words, you don't feel like you have to be on the defense. You feel like more on the, what's going on? Are you okay? How can I help?